Hello, I'm Mona Santana. This is my daily gratitude list where I list and talk about 5 things I'm grateful for that hopefully you can relate to as well. Number 1, I am grateful for the future. The future is something that you can work towards now. So if you are thinking that the future is going to be a good thing, then most likely it will be. So the more energy that you put into making the future good for you, the better, or the more likely it's going to be a good future. So like you're planting seeds to make some things that you want happen in your life, then at some point that's going to come to fruition. And obviously practicing gratitude is a way to ensure that those seeds that you have planted are going to come to fruition in a good way. So I think I really like the idea of thinking about the future and seeing it in a good way, and being optimistic, and realizing that it's something that you kind of have in your control to a certain degree. So the more that you can be an optimistic person, the more likely that your future is going to be good, and more likely that your present will be too, as a matter of fact. So I like to think about the future as being a wonderful thing full of possibilities. And so even though the future doesn't belong to anybody, you still have to plan for it. So it's good to practice gratitude in order to make it more likely that your future will be what you want it to be. So I'm grateful for the future. Number 2, I'm grateful for murmurations, flocking, or what birds do when they get together and they all fly in sync, more or less. And it's just so beautiful. It's amazing when they do that. A lot of other animals do that, but I just think it's really pretty when you can see them in the sky, all of these birds flocking together, which is kind of interesting to me because they actually do it for protection from predators, and they all get together collectively and basically make it so that they're all safe. Because it's really hard for instance, a falcon to focus on one bird when they're all moving around like that. So most of the time, they're all pretty safe in a murmuration. So I think it's a really fascinating natural occurrence, and actually something that kind of a lot of animals do, like fish and even people sometimes. And frankly, I think we should all do that a lot more. So number 3, I'm grateful for I'm grateful for mattresses. I'm grateful for mattresses because if you think about it, we need a mattress to be able to sleep comfortably. I particularly like all of those, like a Tempur-Pedic mattress, the memory foam mattresses that have come about like in the last 20, 30 years, whatever. Before then, it was just like the spring mattresses. But isn't it amazing that you can have any kind of mattress you want? It's true. It wasn't always like that. I say that it wasn't always like that a lot, but because it's true. We live in a time where you can basically have anything that you want, and it's really important that we remember that, and we practice gratitude because it's really an important part of life to focus on things that you have to basically raise your baseline of happiness, and also to be a more optimistic person. So when something negative happens in your life, you tend to default to a more resilient way of dealing with things, because there's always going to be challenges in your life, and there's always going to be adversities and things like that. So practicing gratitude helps a lot, actually. It's surprising, but it's true. So the more that you can practice gratitude for things like your mattress, the better, because those things, you're not entitled to any of them. No one is. We just happen to live in a time where we have access to all of these things that make our lives so much more comfortable. Of course, you're going to want to be grateful for things that are, abstract and not tangible, like, your friends and family and things like that. But I like to focus on things that are actual things in your life, because sometimes we forget that those things are just so important. So be grateful for your mattress when you go to sleep tonight, even if it's old and rickety, because you still have an option to buy a new one sometime in your future. And the more you plant seeds of optimism and gratitude now, the more likely your future will have a nice mattress. So anyway, number 4, I'm grateful for, I'm grateful for Sergio Mendes. Do you guys know who Sergio Mendes is? He's amazing. Sergio Mendes is a singer, a songwriter, musician from Brazil. He came about in the 1960s, but he continues to perform to this day. He's 83 years old. the man is a force to be reckoned with. He still performs to this day. He wrote so many amazing songs. He did these incredible covers of songs as well. And so I don't know, I just feel like focusing on Sergio Mendes today, just because I was listening to some of the music that has inspired me my entire life. He had a group in the 60s called Sergio Mendes and Brazil 66. And he did this song called Mais Que Nada, which is like this sort of samba song, but it was kind of mixed with like jazz and different influences, and he just really came up with his own sound and own style, and it was really very popular in the 60s, and a lot of his audience was even in the US and English speaking countries, even though he's Portuguese, or Brazilian, he spoke Portuguese, and of course Spanish speaking countries as well. And if you're not familiar with Sergio Mendes, you should definitely check him out, because it'll bring a lot into your life, because it's just, the music is so fantastic. And music is kind of everything, you know, it brings so much into your life. If you're having a hard day, listen to some Sergio Mendes. I would recommend Mais Que Nada. I will write that here so you can read it and look it up. Number 5, I'm grateful for recipes. It's true. If you don't know how to make something, you just look up a recipe and you can make it. You know, like if you want to make a certain kind of pie or cookie or cake, or, you know, stew, soup, whatever it is, just look up a recipe and somebody has done the work for you. You know, it's true. Think about that. Like, imagine if like you're the kind of person who likes to cook for yourself, but you really don't have a natural ability to do that. You don't know how to just grab ingredients and put them together. You can just look up a recipe for whatever it is that you want, you know? I think that's pretty fantastic. Those are all little things in our lives that we should be grateful for, because it's those little things that just honestly make your life better. And again, we're not really entitled to any of these things, but of course you should feel gratitude for them. But then at the same time, you should expect to have these things in your life. I know it's almost kind of a dichotomy to say a thing like that, but it's true. Or I mean, it's kind of a contradiction in terms is what I mean. But it's true. You should expect to have good things in your life, because you do deserve them if you're the kind of person who, you know, practices gratitude and understands that the things that come into your life are simply because you are grateful. And so those bring more things into your life. And yeah, it's the perspective. It's like what you make it. Your life is what you make it. And you can start from anywhere. Just don't look in your neighbor's yard, because it's not relevant. Your life is yours, and you can make it whatever you want to make it. So starting with practicing gratitude is a really good place for you to do that. I mean, that's just my advice, and I take it too. So, you know, that's my belief, my advice. If you have some other idea or comment about that, I would be more than happy to hear it. And so please feel free to comment. Also, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I would really very much appreciate it and feel grateful. And I want to thank you very much for joining me today, and happy St. Patrick's Day. I wore my green. Have a lovely day, and see you next time. Bye.